Turbo Trading with head trader Robert Knight, MBA.
This is a talk on how we find the stocks that we're going to trade first thing in the morning, as well as how we set support and resistance level, or targets and stops for them when we do see the charts. Now this morning there was a dearth of plays, paucity of plays, and they weren't very strong. But this is in the pre-market. The one that was this LL Flooring. There was perhaps they were entertaining a 575 takeover bid. So it showed up as one of the most active. So we put some guidance on it before the market opened. And I said this morning, stock trades at 525 after hours, now 503, support 495 and 480. So of course we're looking at this before the market opens. Here's your support right in here. So that's where that's where if it trades below that, it's going to trade lower. So that's around the 490. And maybe in here, it wasn't much volume, but 480. So those are our support levels for it. And our targets were 5.25 and 565. So if we go to the day chart, we see that this yesterday traded to 5.25. So that was our target, this high here on this day. But also then we look at, see where else did it trade. There was some so maybe up into there, 570. What did I say? 565. So there's how we set the targets. Support, typically you're looking more at just the early trading on the 2-minute chart. And when we look at our targets, we look at both the 2-minute chart. So 5.25 was in here, and then also the daily chart to see where it's going to run into trouble. And we can see that it did pop at the opening up to the targets, just about target, traded to 550 through our 525. You had to be quick to catch this trade, and then it just drifted off. And so if you had been trading this, we didn't trade it, but we would have said stop it under 520 here. And sure enough, it just continued to trade lower. But let's look at some of the other ones. There's a couple other stocks that just sort of popped out of nowhere. This morning, they were strong overnight going into the close yesterday, but backed off. The CXAI. And at the opening, it came under pressure and sold off sharply, but popped and made really a cup and handle pattern in here like this. Here's your cup, here's your handle. And when it broke over that 1150 and got into this big rising channel, there was your opportunity to enter. So at the CXAI, see what Tyler said on that. Yeah, he said over 11, every 50 cents to 12 and 13. Now, just generally, whole numbers are going to be resistance areas, 12, 13, 14. And half numbers for 1250, 1350, they're going to be resistance as well, but not as big as whole numbers. So when it broke out over this level at 1150, we would look to see, okay, well, where can this trade? Here was the breakout here at around 1150. So you would look at this to trade. I mean, this could have traded up to 14, but in the shorter term, here's your targets at over 1150. Right around 12, 12.25, and then here around 13, and those are all the areas that Tyler had said. And then the support, you'd want to stop it probably here under 11, so 1090, which was this level in here on the pre-market. Maybe here 1165. It's a very choppy stock, so you have to give this one a bit more room. But once it got into this big rising channel, you just can stay in this trade. As long as it stays in this channel, you can stay in the trade. And then here at the apex of the wedge, you can see it broke out to the downside, and that pretty much is it. Now, come into power hour, it may go again, depending on the markets, but we'll be watching it. But again, so where do we find support? Well, here on the VWAP, 13.5. You can see it touched down to this level here. That's your support now. Below that, you'd want to get out of the trade. Resistance now is up here, 14 3/4, 15.35. Those are if it broke out of this channel here, those would be your targets that you'd want to be looking at. Let's see, what else did we highlight this morning? There wasn't really anything. They're not very good examples. Let's look at some of the other ones though that we traded. NNOX, you had to be very quick to catch this big sharp, you didn't want to chase it. So a difficult trade to get into. Look at this big double top up here. There's your sell signal, 19 3/4. Here's your support, 18.35. So, on this pullback, and it held that support in here, there was an opportunity to trade this again. If you miss this first move, you wait for the first pullback, 18 3/4. You trade it back to 19.25. Sure enough, that's as high as it got to that resistance line. We looked at AI this morning. Oops, come on. We looked at AI this morning, but it just never, it was strong in the pre-market, but look at with NVIDIA, it just sold off. Got whacked at the opening. And Tyler gave guidance, said look for a $38 entry level. And why was that? Well, here's your support right in here, $38. So in a choppy stock like that, you try to buy the dips and sell the rips. And there's why we picked 38, because that was the support, held the support, bounced, got up to resistance there at 41. It had resistance here at 40, which was this level in here. And then 41 was the key resistance, failed there, pulled back, held the 38, could have bought it again. And this time it only traded to 40.50, which was this area in here. And then double top there, you can see this double top backs off. So that just gives you a good idea on how we set targets and stop losses for stocks that we're trading.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Reach new levels of trading proficiency. Become a member at turbotrading.biz.